All right, we're getting some more details in right now on the ceasefire deal that has been struck between Israel and Hamas. I want to bring in former CIA station chief in Moscow, Dan Hoffman. He joins me now on this breaking story. And just to be clear, the Israeli cabinet, as far as I know, needs to approve this. And there might be some sticky issues around the Gaza-Egypt border, because right now Israel controls that, Dan. Your reaction as we try to get some more details in.
Well, it's a stunning development. There's a bit of bipartisanship here, which is something that I think has to be a surprise to the electorate in the United States. We've got Biden official Brett McGurk out there in the Middle East, alongside President-elect Trump's Middle East envoy, Stephen Witkoff, conducting high-level negotiations. From what I understand, Mr. Witkoff's negotiations with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu were critical to this ceasefire, because Israel has been more recalcitrant. They rejected a phased ceasefire arrangement way back in May of last year. Hamas has wanted a ceasefire. They are decimated and they need a break in the fighting. But this required some convincing in Israel, and it looks like that President-elect Trump's special envoy has helped make that happen.
President Isaac Herzog of Israel has now said that he was briefed by the Red Cross on preparations for the transfer of the hostages and the various challenges that they face. I think the time frame we need to get more confirmation on that. But also, too, is the fact that, and you bring this up, that Steve Witkoff, who is President-elect Trump's nominee, he's not even in there yet, has been over there and is still in Doha today during these negotiations. What does that say to you about the power of the word coming from somebody like Donald Trump?
I think it's, as I mentioned, I think it's bipartisanship. The Biden administration isn't blocking him from doing the nation's business. This is the Biden administration handing over to the Trump administration. We're seeing it real time, and we're seeing some real positive results.
Dan, the other issue obviously is going to be the hostages. Israel has been, very cautious on some of the names as we're looking at these live videos from Tel Aviv. And these, of course, are many of these are the families and just regular Israeli citizens that have been very vocal in saying to Benjamin Netanyahu that these hostages need to be brought home. He himself has faced a lot of political pressure in Israel since October 7, 2023, in the wake of the attacks on that country. Do you think the political landscape of Israel changes based on the news today?
Well, it certainly will have an impact. But look, let's remember that the ones responsible for taking the hostages and for mistreating them, that's Hamas. And Israel has been conducting a war of self-defense for the last 15 months. And negotiating with a terrorist group like Hamas, even for the return of hostages, extraordinarily difficult. And the fact that it looks like we're bringing at least what it looks like a part of that to fruition today is an extraordinary achievement. Now, there's going to be a lot of details. We should be hearing briefings in the course of today and in this evening. Reportedly, 33 of 100 hostages will be released in return for Palestinian prisoners, but lots of unanswered questions about where we go from here. This is a ceasefire. It's not the end of the conflict. The United States, Qatar, and Egypt have reportedly promised to carry on discussions for a permanent ceasefire, which is what Hamas wants. But there's a lot of details yet to be worked out.
President-elect Trump, who, again, the inauguration is next Monday, is on Truth Social. He's posting right now, and he's talking about the deal. And he says, with this deal in place, my national security team, through the efforts of Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, will continue to work closely with Israel and our allies to make sure that Gaza never, all caps, never again becomes a terrorist safe haven. Peace through strength. So it's not just about Gaza and Hamas, as you know, Dan. It is about Lebanon. It is about Iran and the proxies. It is about the Houthis. Does this, in your opinion, is this a move to stabilize the region? Or is this just a good deal to celebrate today, but only today?
Well, it's probably a little bit of both. If there's one thing that I learned serving as the CIA's director of the Near East operations, that's Middle East, North Africa, It's that all of these countries and the terrorist groups that find ungoverned space in many of them, it's all very interconnected. And so Israel's very effective war on Hezbollah certainly had an impact on the region writ large. The fall of Bashar al-Assad as well. We are seeing massive shifts in the Middle East right now, which presents extraordinary opportunities for the Trump administration to bring some peace to the region. We're going to outsource a lot of the post-conflict reconstruction in Gaza to our allies in the Middle East, as we should. But the United States needs to play a role through diplomacy, through Secretary of State designate Marco Rubio, in ensuring that our national security interests are taken care of in the region, as well as our ally, Israel.
Dan Hoffman, thank you so much for joining me on this breaking news. Everybody, we're going to take a quick break. We'll see you back on the other side. Breaking news on Fox Business.